From this factory in Geelong, Victoria, they're making wheels for Ferrari using an Australian-invented technology. Most wheels are steel or aluminium, but these ones are carbon fibre, shaving at least 50% off their weight.
It's very difficult to do what we're doing, and it's particularly difficult to fund it in this country.
The company has also won the contract to supply Ford Mustangs in the US. It's the very model of a business that Malcolm Turnbull has heralded as Australia's future.
We want to be a culture, a national culture of innovation.
At his innovation pitch in 2015, the hope of the newly minted Prime Minister was that after years of digging resources out of the ground and selling them to the rest of the world, clever Australians would find new ways of making money. But experts say too many of our best ideas are being snapped up by savvy investors overseas.
Our biggest shareholder is an offshore wheel manufacturer, in fact. So yeah, it hasn't come all from Australian sources, and that is one of the challenges.
Roy Green was an advisor to the Senate's innovation inquiry in 2015 and says Australia is falling behind.
It's interesting to note that when we measure complexity of economies across the world, this is a very interesting measure of how sophisticated an economy is. We rate right down the bottom with countries like Oman and Kazakhstan.
A tally by Roy Green and Universities Australia shows $11.8 billion has been cut from federal spending on innovation, including higher education, since 2013, from research, tertiary students and universities, and the Education Investment Fund.
The latest minister, Michaelia Cash, when asked what was her policy for innovation, responded that she wanted business certainty, and that meant doing nothing.
In a statement to the ABC, the minister said the Turnbull government is committed to providing strong support for Australia's science and innovation sector. Many new businesses rely on our universities, and not just to provide better skilled staff.
This is the first phase of the expansion of our current facility.
The first Carbon Revolution factory was funded by Deakin University, now the landlord and investor in a growing number of business startups.
How many people will you employ here, do you think?
Ultimately, probably close to 1,000 on this site.
Tertiary education and research funding are at the core of any innovation strategy. Education is Australia's third biggest export after iron ore and coal. But universities say government and business don't give them enough credit for their contribution to the economy.
Diversity on business boards, besides gender and colour, should be skills. Where are the high-end knowledge people, professors in universities sitting on boards saying what they're doing?
Australian businesses commit just 1% of GDP to research and development. That's almost a third of what similar countries are spending. Analysts want the government to better target the research and development tax incentive, so businesses are forced to spend it on truly inventive work.
It's just not good enough for governments or for the business sector to say they want corporate tax cuts. If there are to be tax cuts, well, why not make them conditional on investment in these important areas?
Unlike our global peers, Australia doesn't have much of a risk-taking culture. When Tony Abbott was PM, we didn't even have a science minister, because a view has taken hold that innovation equals job destruction, that new technologies will replace workers. But an increasing number of entrepreneurial Australians are proving otherwise. There won't necessarily be fewer jobs, just different ones. Emma Alberici, ABC News.